Hello and welcome to CathyDslayt's website for the SRC4U Zoom call. To access the Zoom call on the front page, look for the banner. We're going to click here and remember this password. We're going to allow, type in the passcode, and join the call. Join without video. Join with audio.
This is where we finished yesterday, and this is our theme. And I have now dental, and I have all this stuff in the dental scan for those who want to do it. But the engine of the software will also work on this just fine. There is no reason other than this software is about reclaiming personal power. And when you realize that power, you'll be curious and you'll want to do a little deeper dowsing, and it's just a growing process. I think everybody in here already knows that. But in packing, it's a pretty bad thing when most of your packing involves sitting down and reading something that you forgot you had, which makes packing take much longer. But I came across an old dowsing checklist by Dave Cowan, and I sent it to Joanna. Do you guys know Dave Cowan? Does that ring a bell? I don't know if anybody can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to think. I've met a lot of people, but I don't recognize that name.
Well, what happened? Dave Cowan was a teacher for me in the SKIO, and I have great affection for Dave Cowan. He's not with us any longer. He died a few years ago, but his true shining gift was dowsing, and he wrote a bunch of books, and somewhere along this line, I had a list of things. And I thought, just for fun, we could do one of two things. We could douse these in one at a time, and I would encourage that when you can for yourself. But for the group, this is interesting. And again, we're talking subtle, and this is a whole group of people. But let's just leave this as it is. We've got it set up. And let's just douse in some of these things, and it's quite interesting. So, for example, where are we with integrity? We're up in 84, and look at that. It goes all the way up to the top. That's our group. Let's look at honesty. An interesting thing. I've been put in a position where I have something I really need to lie about, but because I have to let someone go. But I can't do it because anytime you lie, it absolutely creates some holes in your aura. So, in other words, even when you're doing a lie to be kind, it may not be your best benefit. So, again, look at yeah. Happiness. Where'd we go? These numbers are great. Greed. Now, greed, according to what they say, this is not meaning that the person is greedy in the sense we would see. Often, your very most open and generous people, this comes up for because on a deep level, they don't think there's enough for them. So, greed, we're going to go down to a negative thing for that. And that's not really, this group is shining. Level of consciousness. Now, this ideally, we know level of consciousness goes up beyond 100. We should hope anyway. But I'm just looking at percentage right now. I'm going to presume that this goes all the way up to the top, and that what percentage of that are we? Okay, look at that. Life force. That could use a little bit of tweaking. Now we're still going on the shin. So let's, again, as you know, let's just go in here. just put a cocktail in. I can't remember what life score is now. I'll have to fish that out, and I'll tell you tomorrow. Does anybody have any idea what that is? I myself have no idea, but I will. I'll look it up. Energy level. We could take a little boost on that. Let's see what we've got in here. This will be a nice one to make a list on. So let's just do for now the lift for energy, and I'll make a list. Overall health. Look at that. Oh my goodness. So that is interesting on a etheric spiritual level, pretty high, but the health we still need to work on. Again, I don't know what we have in here at this point. Let's just look in here. Let's just do free from threats, health, and vitality, and that'll be another good one to have a list to scan. Mental stability. Oh, wait a minute. Emotional stability. You see the potential. It goes up to the 101, so this may just be a day that we have a few people. I haven't scanned the group yet, to see individuals, but emotional is good. Let's check mental. A little bit of too much stress, probably thoughts, self-love. Now, the Chinese say the root source cause of anything wrong in the life is self-hate. Now, let's measure our self-love. Okay. Self-worth. You can see how simple it is, and you start getting a feel for this dowsing. And then also all this energy will be going in the field, and the engine can work on the physical stuff, although obviously we need to do a deeper look at that. And let's just look at self-hate. That would be a negative thing. And again, that's pretty much innate. From the time we're born, we get programmed with some of that stuff, and there's not much like this kind of software to clear that. It's the expression baby steps. It's not going to happen right away, but that's why I think as you continue just hitting this wonder click on a daily basis, you'll start clearing some of that, and you'll start doing a little bit more for yourself. Self-sabotage. do without that. I don't know if we have anything in here for that. Let's just look. Yeah, this is interesting. We've got a couple of things. If there are some meridians that are tied in with self-sabotage, let's add those. And let's go ahead and get this other. Now, this is an interesting belief, and again, this would be a program, and this is where a person believes they deserve to suffer. So let's see, as a group. Do that. Again, this is all so subtle. Now, this is an interesting one, too. It seems he had this on his list, but not male ancestry, the effect of female ancestry. So let's just, again, let's see if there's a negative effect. Look at that. Oh, my goodness. So we do have archetypes, and apparently the female archetype, not only, you know, with the environmental aspects, but the actual downloading. They say at the moment of conception, there's a formula to it. You can't download all the information all the way back of both sets of ancestors, but there's a formula as to the time of conception and all. That's beyond me, that determines what you download, but that's pretty interesting, and we should look into that. Now, this is an interesting one, resistance to being healed. And this doesn't mean necessarily physical. It could be a break in a habit. It could be resistance to forgiving or whatever. Let's just look here and see. Nope, good. I guess if you're in the group, now this, again, this I'm just doing what I can do with the SRC, but if you have a pendulum, you can do, you know, a little bit more custom. But he had in here a number of entities. I'm just going to do what percent. Just see what we have up here. Let's just do this image, Malcolm Ray, removal of entities. So you see, as you start to play with this, you'll see you've got what a number of cocktails you have. Overcloaked by spiritual entities from the oneness movement. This is interesting that Dave has that in, because for a long time he was doing the oneness blessing. I don't know if any of you know that story or not, and people would take SRC trainings and they would get this blessing. And I myself didn't ever have it. I had a bad feeling about it. Later, David Harris, Grandmaster David Harris, said that in many cases, entities were being downloaded into people who got the oneness blessing. And I wonder if at some point Dave didn't come to that conclusion too, because this is in here. And I kind of match along with the work that people do with psychics. There are some channeling light energy and some channeling dark energy. So it might have been determined by who did the oneness blessing. I'm not sure what was involved in it. They put their, you know, look at that. So again, that's something we probably, you know, well, this should handle it right now for now, but it's information. And we want to see negative emotions. negative archetypes, again going back to that female thing. Now this is an interesting one too. And again, you can do more with your pendulum in the 3D version, but this was on his list, so I'm going to share it. I don't know what everybody believes, if they have spirit guides or not, but let's just see where we are with this. Okay. And then he had spirit guides at 100% light, so could we have guidance that perhaps is messing us up? Looks like we're in good shape. And compatibility of spirit guides. And he has some other things. If you pull up any of his information, even talks about, for example, your compatibility with your spirit guides as a partner. It's thought-provoking. I never went this direction with this work, but I thought it might be fun to do this dowsing, just to show people that you don't have to do any of these other things if you don't choose to. Even this would be a wonderful habit to get into. And again, I don't know much about spirit guides, but it looks like we may have some that don't get along if that's the case. I'll just add that. We've still got everything going from yesterday, so we're going to not touch that. Let's have a little fun with the dowser. There's something, the charger. How about you can have it all? I'm going to let that, it's going to take, oh, okay, it loaded right up. All right, 5 minutes on that one. We want manual controls, so we're going to actually make sure I got that all in there. We actually want some focusing on these things we doused in. Minutes for 29 repeats, and then we'll go ahead. At some point the wonder click will be activated, but right now we want to focus first. So anything to add? Any suggestions on this?
Nope, that looks good.
Well, it's just a nice little simple thing and a fun thing. This should always be fun. This is always etheric. It's not, and with our health, I can see I need to focus in now physically. We do a lot of things, but maybe a little bit more physical work is in order. We're doing it with the dental, but we'll just keep going forward. So that's it for me.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you guys, and I will see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
This concludes the SRC4U for February 4th, 2021. We look forward to seeing you again. Over here on Cathy's website, scroll down, look for the Zoom call, and you can click right here. If you're looking for any of the archived shows, you can find them just below here where it says SRC4U Software Zoom Call Archives. You can always find Cathy's latest blog post here. She has an archive list of blog posts, and working with the SRC4U software cocktails, they're called SVA cocktails, and they are located right here. Thank you for joining. Have a great day. We'll see you again soon. Be well. Take care.